The same day repeated for 1,000 years. In the security room, Wu Chen entered. One of the guards greeted him saying, "Mr. Wu, please come inside." As Mr. Wu can see, this is the current footage of the boss's meeting with the young master of the Ding family at Tingfeng Pavilion. In the footage, Ding Ruilong said to Mr. Lei, "Do you really want to live hidden in Donghai City?" Lei Cheng responded, "What difference does it make whether I want to or not? Mr. Ding doesn't know much about my family affairs. There are things beyond my control. I can't just do whatever I want." Ding Ruilong replied, "Why are you so afraid, Mr. Lei? I know that your old man prefers your elder brother Lei Yu, but ultimately, it's all about manpower." Lei Cheng said, "Young Master Ding, one must be aware of his place. The power of the Lei family is entirely in my elder brother's hands, and I have come to terms with that." Ding Ruilong laughed. "Ha ha ha ha, Mr. Lei, if you had truly accepted your fate, you would have agreed to meet me today. It seems you still don't trust me." Wu Chen said to himself, arriving early rather than making it a chance encounter was a good decision. This topic is perfect for us to take advantage of. We can use tea service as a signal for Brother Lei to drop the bait. He then instructed the security, "Go and serve Brother Lei some tea and snacks." The security guard responded, "Understood, Mr. Wu." In the meeting, a beautiful waitress arrived with tea. "Sir, this is the tea you previously ordered." Lei Chong thought to himself, "It seems brother has arrived." He then addressed Ding Ruilong, "Mr. Ding, have some tea. I have something to discuss with you. Regarding Mening's endorsement, I already have an agreement with Ms. Li, so if it's unnecessary. I don't want to disappoint Ms. Li." Ding Ruilong responded, "Mr. Lei, how much does that endorsement mean to you? Tell me what I should do to get you to break that contract." Lei Cheng replied, "Mr. Ding, for me right now, my relationship with you and Ms. Li is about the same. I have a good rapport with Ms. Li, and breaking with her to side with you, risking retaliation from Li Ruotai, isn't in my best interest." Ding Ruilong said, "Mr. Lei, you can speak openly." Lei Cheng continued, "It's not that I, Lei Cheng, don't respect you, Master Ding, but if I offend Li Ruobing and her two siblings, I might not be able to stay in Donghai anymore. How do you think I'm supposed to live?" Ding Ruilong replied, "But what if I send Lei Yu to prison or make him disappear in an accident? You'd be the only heir to the Lei family and could return to take over the family business. Don't worry about Donghai. What do you think, Mr. Lei?" Lei Cheng asked, "Master Ding, are you serious?" Ding Ruilong assured, "Mr. Lei, in the past, you may have had unreliable friends, but now you have me. Everything you didn't dare think or do in the last 10 years will soon be within reach." Lei Cheng asked, "So if I allow Mening to break off the contract, you will eliminate my elder brother?" "Mr. Ding, that's a serious promise. How can I trust you?" Ding Ruilong replied, "It's difficult for you to trust me now because you don't know me well, but believe me, removing anyone in your way is not hard for me. Killing Lei Yu is just a small matter." Wu Chen thought to himself, "That's all I needed to hear, Ding Ruilong. Thank you for playing along." Lei Cheng laughed, "I've heard that Mr. Ding is a man of action. Come on, let's drink tea." Half an hour later, as their conversation continued, Lei Cheng remarked, "The more we talk, the better I understand you, young Master Ding. It's a pity we didn't meet sooner." Ding Ruilong asked, "So, Mr. Lei, have you made a decision?" Lei Cheng responded, "Well, it's decided. I can't refuse Mening's endorsement outright." Ding Ruilong retorted, "You." Lei Cheng continued, "The press conference is the day after tomorrow, and canceling now would be too obvious. We should proceed as planned, then break the contract in a month or two and file a lawsuit with Huangkai Cosmetics. At that time, Mr. Ding can arrange for the media to claim that the termination was due to Mening developing acne and spots from Huangkai products, which would surely cause a stir. The lawsuit will drag on for a year or two, and I doubt they'll re-enter the market." Mr. Ding replied, clapping his hands, "Mr. Lei, you're ruthless. I like it." With that, they clinked their teacups and laughed. Shortly after, Lei Cheng entered the security room and said to Wu Chen, "Brother, Ding Ruilong has left. I told him everything exactly as you instructed that night, and he was thrilled." Wu Chen replied, "Brother Lei, excellent work. Now it's time to find an opportunity to deliver this footage to Lei Yu." Wu Chen glanced at his phone and read a message. "It's been barely 2 hours, and I'm already starting to miss you. My little husband, you're like a parasite in my belly. Mua mua." I'll be there right away. Wu Chen then turned to Lei Cheng and said, "Things here are nearly wrapped up, Brother Lei. Let's go. I'll introduce you to a new friend." A few moments later, they arrived, and Wu Yurong welcomed them, saying, "Come in." Wu Chen introduced everyone. "Sister Rong, let me introduce you to these two friends, Mr. Lei Cheng and Ms. Tao Manning." Lei Cheng said, "I really didn't expect you to be the friend Brother Wu wanted to introduce me to, Miss Wu." Wu Yurong raised an eyebrow. "Oh, really?" Lei Cheng clarified, "No, it's just that I never heard of Brother Wu being friends with you before." Wu Yurong interrupted with a smile. "We're not just friends." Lei Cheng said to himself, "What happened to this relic lady? Does brother have a problem with her and needs me to lobby for him? But I don't know her, and they looked close before entering the door just now. What is the situation now?" She placed her hand on Wu Chen's chest and declared, "Wu Chen is my man, a man who can drive me crazy at any time." Lei Cheng thought to himself, can this lady really be having so much fun with him? Does sister-in-law Li Ruobing know? Seems like brother's family matters aren't simple. Wu Chen smirked at Wu Yurong. "So, you want to be direct, huh?" Wu Yurong replied with a wink, "Of course. If I could, announce it to the world." Lei Shong laughed. "Well then, we're practically family." Wu Chen continued, "Brother Lei, I actually asked Sister Rong to join us today because I have a business deal I'd like to discuss. Would you be interested?" Wu Yurong handed Lei Cheng a file. "Boss Lei, take a look at how we can bring down Ding Ruilong." As Lei Cheng skimmed the file, he said, "So, it's about seizing his business and his assets? No problem, let's do it." Wu Chen cautioned, "Brother Lei, don't be so hasty. This is going to be big, ranging from 6 months to a year. I intend to bring down not only him, but his entire family." Lei Cheng's eyes widened. "Brother, are you really aiming to bring down the Ding family?" Wu Chen nodded. "Urwibo from Shanghai has already agreed. The last part is between Sister Rong and you, Brother Lei. The details are for you two to work out." Lei Cheng slapped the table. "Darn it, let's do it. Brother, I wouldn't say no to something this good." Wu Chen added, "Gu Ribo will arrive in Donghai tomorrow. Brother Lei and Sister Rong, you can meet him to finalize the arrangements." Wu Yurong looked at Wu Chen with a private smile, thinking, once this is over, he'll likely earn more than the entire Wu family's assets. "I don't even know how to repay you, my little husband." She placed a hand on Wu Chen's thigh and let it linger a moment longer than usual. Raising his glass, Lei Cheng toasted, "To more success." At that moment, Wu Chen's phone buzzed. "Atai?" he answered. Li Ruotai's voice came through urgently. "Brother-in-law, something's come up with Tang Xinbao." Wu Chen said, "Sister Rong, Brother Lei, continue without me. I have something to handle." Lei Cheng replied, "No problem, brother. I'll drink with Miss Wu." In a separate scene, Li Ruotai briefed Wu Chen, "Brother-in-law, my father called. My third uncle will be coming to Donghai tomorrow to handle the Tang Xinbao matter." Wu Chen's face grew serious. "Your third uncle? Sun Yongjiang, one of the power players of the Sun family?" Li Ruotai nodded. "Do you know him?" Wu Chen explained, "Your uncle already left Tang Xinbao's case in my hands. I suspect your third uncle isn't here for Tang Xinbao but to protect Ding Ruilong." Li Ruotai's voice dropped. "So I won't be able to kill Ding Ruilong tomorrow?" Wu Chen answered, "Yes, Atai. Your third uncle was sent to stop you." Li Ruotai mused, "If Ding Ruilong arrives tomorrow, do you have a plan?" Wu Chen nodded. "I do, but I need your cooperation. When are you planning to burn down your club? And do you still have the box with the old knife?" Li Ruotai's eyes lit up. "Everything will be according to your plan, brother-in-law." Wu Chen leaned in, whispering part of his scheme. A moment later, Li Ruotai grinned. "I get it now. You're brilliant." Suddenly, Wu Chen received another call. "Big brother, it's me, Tang Xinbao. My second uncle will be coming to Donghai tomorrow and wants to meet you." Wu Chen replied, "Understood." Turning back to Li Ruotai, he remarked, "It seems tomorrow will be quite lively." Li Ruotai asked, "What's happening?" The next day, Wu Chen greeted his guest warmly. "Boss Tang, it's a pleasure to meet you." Tang Jingbin, the second uncle of the Tang family, laughed heartily. "Ha ha ha, little brother, thank you very much. My nephew told me that if it hadn't been for you, he might not have made it through the night before last." As Tang Xinbao and Guo Qiki looked away awkwardly, Tang Jingbin continued, "Our families can be considered one now. Here is 50 million yuan as a token of the Tang family's gratitude. You must accept it." He slid the card towards Wu Chen. Wu Chen accepted the card, saying, "Thank you very much, Boss Tang. I'll take it, but only out of respect for our family ties." Tang Jingbin studied him quietly. By accepting the money, Wu Chen considers the Tang family's gratitude repaid. The next step should be for Li Ruotai to apologize, as that's our family's request to preserve face. But does Wu Chen have a hidden agenda here? Tang Jingbin smiled, concealing his thoughts. "Little brother, you're quite cheerful." Working with straightforward people." Wu Chen nodded. "Boss Tang, you must be tired from traveling so early to Donghai. Have you had anything to eat yet?" Turning to his assistant, Wu Chen said, "Xiaodi, could you prepare lunch? We'll be heading out later. Take this card and buy whatever is needed and use the leftover funds when you're back in Shanghai." Tang Jingbin was surprised, noticing Wu Chen's casual manner with Zhuang Xiaodi. Did he just give her 50 million without a second thought? And look at that, Hes touching her hand too. Zhuang Xiaodi looked flustered. "Mr. Wu, I can't accept this." Wu Chen's tone was gentle but firm. "Take it, it'll be useful." As Wu Chen led Zhuang Xiaodi to the kitchen, Tang Jingbin watched, saying to Tang Xinbao, "Are they?" Tang Xinbao nodded. "Yes, that young woman's name is Zhuang Xiaodi. It's interesting Miss Li doesn't mind at all, and the two women even call each other sister." Tang Jingbin raised his eyebrows. "Fascinating. Wu Chen keeps surprising me. I'm curious to see how Hell managed things with Li Ruotai now." After lunch, the scene shifted to the top suite at the Donghai Crown Entertainment Club, where several influential figures gathered. Wu Chen entered the room, greeted by Li Ruobing's affectionate dear, alongside her brother Li Ruotai, brother-in-law, and Gu Ruibo's nod. Sun Yongzhang, third uncle to Li Ruobing and Li Ruotai, welcomed their guest. "Boss Tang, I've heard much about you." Tang Jingbin responded respectfully. "Likewise, Boss Sun." Sun Yongzhang got to the point. "It's unfortunate that a minor issue led you all the way to Donghai. Young people are prone to misunderstandings after all." Tang Jingbin replied, "My nephew was nearly beaten to death. I had to come." Sun Yongzhang attempted a diplomatic approach. "What happened was certainly our fault, but we can resolve this without further hostility. Tang Xinbao was injured, and we, the Li and Sun families, are ready to compensate him." Wu Chen interrupted. "Mr. Sun, if you don't mind, let's talk first." Sun Yongzhang hesitated. Sure, of course." After a tense exchange, Sun Yongzhang muttered to himself, "I wanted to settle things with Tang Jingbin first, but Wu Chen's sudden request throws a wrench in it. Now, I'll have to watch my words around that fox, Tang Jingbin." Wu Chen explained his intent. "I did that intentionally, Mr. Sun, to get Tang Jingbin thinking. Discuss what you need, but leave the final terms open." Sun Yongzhang nodded thoughtfully. "Understood. So, you don't mind if we pretend to have a heated discussion?" Wu Chen shook his head. "No need. I don't care how much Tang Jingbin speculates as long as has intrigued. Tang Jingbin is sharp, and with Ding Rulong arriving soon, we can't let on that the Li and Ding families are at odds. Any leaks would only hurt the Lai family." Wu Chen continued, "The goal is to bring the Tang family to our side. If they partner with us, Ding Rulong becomes their adversary. And if the stakes are high enough, they'll guard the secrecy themselves." Sun Yongzhang, impressed but cautious, replied, "The Tang and Li families have no history of close relations. Building trust from scratch will be nearly impossible." Wu Chen looked resolute, prepared to make the impossible happen. Sun Yongzhang leaned forward, intrigued. "And what do you plan to do?" Wu Chen turned to Mr. Sun with a confident smile. "Mr. Sun, I can't fully explain the situation here and now. We can discuss it later, or I'll speak with Tang Jingbin in detail. You're welcome to listen in. And remember, when Ding Rulong arrives, you'll need to stand against me. Make it look convincing." Sun Yongzhang replied with a slight frown. "I understand, Xiao Wu, but make sure not to mess things up, otherwise everything we're working for will be ruined." Wu Chen nodded. "I know. Don't worry, I won't mess this up. Let's go then." In the other room, Sun Yongzhang walked in, smiling. "Ha ha ha ha, Boss Tang, I'm sorry for keeping you waiting." Tang Jingbin eyed him with an amused look. Boss son, you look so pleased. Seems like something good has happened. As Wu Chen walked back over to Li Rubing, she leaned closer. What were you discussing? Wu Chen chuckled, pulling her close. Guess. Li Rubing laughed. Is it interesting? Wu Chen glanced at Tang Jingbin out of the corner of his eye. Miss Li, are you giving up on your image? We have an audience, you know. Watching them, Tang Jingbin thought to himself, the rumors about Li Rubing, the powerful granddaughter of the Li family, seem true. Yet here she is, acting like a smitten girl with Wu Chen, even though she knows he's involved with another woman. Boss Gu? Gu Ribo, a bit puzzled, walked over. Tang Jingbin observed closely, noting the third generation of the Ju family is here, and they too appear to support Wu Chen. Guru Weibo turned to Wu Chen. Mr. Wu, if you need to bring up Tang Xinbao's issue, go ahead. Ah, Tai and I are like brothers. Wu Chen replied. You've already helped. Guru Weibo looked confused. I haven't done anything, Mr. Wu. What do you mean? Wu Chen said, your attitude toward me alone is helpful. That's all I need for now. Tang Jingbin mused. It's not just Guru Weibo, but also Sun Yongzhang and Li Rubing. Their respect for Wu Chen validates his strength, further influencing my judgment. Brother-in-law, Ding Rulong just arrived downstairs. Guru Weibo asked Wu Chen, Mr. Wu, do you want me to? Wu Chen smiled. You came just in time. Everyone, take it easy for now. Boss Gu, feel free to do as you like. Ah, Tai, well, stick to the plan. Moments later, Ding Ruolong stepped out of the elevator and was greeted by a guard. Young Master Ding, please wait a moment. Ding Ruolong scowled. Do you dare to stop me? These are my orders, sir, the guard replied, and all of Ding Ruolong's items, even a pen, were confiscated before he was let through. Ding Ruolong instructed his entourage, You six, stay here. They all nodded. Yes, young master. As he entered the room, Ding Ruolong's face lit up upon seeing Li Rubing. Ruo. He froze mid-sentence when he noticed Sun Yongzhang, who greeted him with a wave. Ruolong is here, this way, please come and sit. Ding Ruolong gets near them and said, Hello, Uncle Sun. Mr. Tang is here too. When did you come to Donghai? He replied, I just arrived today. Did young Master Ding also just arrive? Ha 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 ha, it must be fate that I ran into you here. Sun Yongzhang said to Ding Ruolong, you must be familiar with Xiaogu. Ding Ruolong shook the hands of Guo Weibo and said, not just familiar with each other, hee. Boss Gu, why did you also come to Donghai? He replied, I was also going to ask you that as well. What are you doing in Donghai? Li Rubing, playing with Wu Chen's hand, said, Oh my, when did you buy this watch? Wu Chen said, I didn't buy it. What about the one I got you? Li Rubing asked, pretending to pout. That one doesn't match today's outfit, Wu Chen replied with a smirk. Li Rubing laughed. Fine, let's go downtown after dinner, and he'll buy you one that matches. How does that sound? Wu Chen glanced at her, grinning. Depends on my mood after we eat. Ding Ruolong's annoyance showed on his face. What kind of man is this? Sun Yongzhang turned to him. Bing bing, Ruolong's here. Why aren't you saying hello? Ding Ruolong extended his hand. Ruobing, it's been a while. But Li Ruobing continued playing with Wu Chen's hand, completely ignoring Ding Ruolong, who was left awkwardly standing there. Finally, Wu Chen spoke up with a smirk. Ding Ruolong, what brings you to Donghai? Aren't you uncomfortable here? Sun Yongzhang and Tang Jingbin exchanged shocked glances, realizing Wu Chen just openly provoked Ding Ruolong in front of everyone. Wu Chen continued, I don't get it, really. You keep coming to Donghai. Does it satisfy you to see the love between Rubing and me? Li Rubing said sweetly, Dear, why are you even paying him any attention? Wu Chen grinned. He came all this way. It'd feel impolite not to exchange a few words, wouldn't it? Sun Yongzhang suddenly spoke up. Wu Chen, don't go overboard. Li Rubing's voice turned icy. Third uncle, are you unhappy with Wu Chen? If so, well, leave right now. Sun Yongzhang stammered. Are you trying to drive me mad? Li Ruotai interjected quickly. Sister, uncle, please calm down. We have guests. Li Rubing turned to her uncle, her tone cold. What did I tell you before we came here? If you don't want us around, well, leave immediately. Sun Yongzhang's expression darkened as he glared at Wu Chen. Li Rubing, is that any way to speak to your elders? I am your uncle. Unimpressed. Uncle, can you stop being unreasonable? Sun Yongzhang pointed an accusing finger at her, frustration evident. You? Tang Jingbin observed the scene with an incredulous look, thinking to himself, what kind of spell is Wu Chen using on everyone here? Ding Rulong tried to diffuse the tension, speaking in a calm tone. Ding Rulong said, Uncle Sun, Ruobing, don't quarrel. We are all part of the same family. We won't need to break our unity because of outsiders. Uncle Sun, I'm fine, please sit down. Sun Yongzhang said, Rulong is still magnanimous. Come, Rulong, sit down. Li Ruobing said to Wu Chen, what are you trying to do? Are you saying you care about him? Wu Chen said it's fun this way. Hehe Guo Ruibo said to Li Ruotai, Mr. Wu looks really talented. No wonder he is favored by Miss Li. Li Ruotai said, Xiaogu, don't be fooled by my brother-in-law's youth. He has great abilities. As the room settled into a tense silence, Tang Jingbin's eyes narrowed with realization. Everyone here is in on this with Wu Chen. They're all working together to mislead Ding Rulong. This is impressive. But what's their endgame? Wu Chen turned to Tang Jingbin. Boss Tang, shall we discuss Tai's issue? Sun Yongzhang chimed in. There's no rush, right? Boss Tang, are you in a hurry to return to Shanghai? Tang Jingbin shook his head. No, I'm not in a hurry. Inside, however, he was taken aback. Why am I suddenly the focus? Am I also part of their play without knowing it? Ding Ruilong looked at Sun Yongzhang with curiosity. Uncle Sun, has something happened with Tai? Sun Yongzhang glanced at Tang Jingbin, and after a pause, briefly explained the issue with Tang Xinbao. Ding Ruilong's eyes gleamed with a hidden agenda. If I can help solve Li Ruotei's problem, maybe I can win over Ruobing. Ding Ruilong stood, trying to play the hero. Second, Uncle Tang, I may not have much say here, but perhaps. Wu Chen abruptly slammed the table, cutting him off. Enough. Go on, talk amongst yourselves. If no one here cares about my opinion, there's no point in me being here. I'm going to find somewhere to rest. Li Ruobing jumped in. Darling, are you tired? Let me come with you. Ding Ruilong smirked internally. Look at him. One little push, and this country bumpkin, Wu Chen, can't keep his cool. Sun Yongzhang stopped her. Bing Bing, where do you think you're going? There are guests here. Have some respect for the Li family. Li Ruobing leaned in close to Wu Chen, whispering, rest up, darling. I'll come join you once I've had a word with my uncles. Wu Chen tenderly held her head. Got it. As he left, Wu Chen smirked to himself. There's Jiang Hongguang, Ding Ruilong's confidant. Hell be next. Not long after, Jiang Hongguang's phone buzzed with a message. Are you enjoying the Lakeview rooms in Shanghai City? Taking someone else's money. Are you really that eager to meet your end? Jiang Hongguang's face went pale. Have they found out about the payments I've taken while helping the young master? Am I being threatened? Jiang excused himself to the restroom, and once there quickly called the sender's number. Who are you? The voice on the other end replied smoothly. There's a keycard in the sink. Take it and go to the 10th floor, room 10029. Jiang's hand shook. You. The line went dead with a cold beep. Damn it, he thought, clenching his fists. I took 6 million to make the young master's affairs run smoothly. If this leaks, I'm done for. Muttering curses under his breath, he decided he'd have to comply. Where is he? The person who made the appointment has not even arrived. He then tries to call again and the phone said the number you've dialed is not reachable at the moment. Please try again later. The number you've dialed is not reachable at the moment. Please try again later. Jiang Hongguang gets nervous and bites his nail and said to himself, since you're threatening me, shouldn't you be asking for money or giving me a task to do? What's with this situation of not saying anything, huh? Returning from the restroom, he was met by a friend. Brother Zhang, what took you so long? Just an upset stomach, Zhang muttered, his eyes darting nervously. Meanwhile, back in the room, Li Ruotai feigned annoyance. Ding Ruilong, I lost 9 million playing mahjong with you all afternoon. Are you happy now? Sun Yongzhang scolded, Tai, don't speak while we're eating. Wu Chen sat back silently observing and sent a message under the table, important business at noon. Meet me in 1029 now. Sun Yongzhang received it and quickly excused himself. My stomach's acting up. I'll be back shortly. Ding Ruilong sipped his drink, only to notice Wu Chen staring at him intently. Annoyed, he asked, "Wu Chen, why do you keep looking at me?" Wu Chen swirled his grape juice slowly, his eyes cold. "I'm just wondering if you have a screw loose. Is there something enjoyable about being cuckolded?" Li Ruotai started to sweat, thinking, what is brother-in-law up to now? Li Rubing kept her expression calm, though her thoughts raced. This wasn't part of the plan. Sun Yongzhang muttered under his breath, "Finally, the real show is about to begin. This day hasn't been a waste." Wu Chen continued nonchalantly, "You know, if you just told me you enjoyed it so much, I would have gladly helped you out." Ding Rulong's face twisted in fury as he confronted Li Rubing. "Rubing, is this really the man you're running around with? He doesn't even respect you. Getting involved with Rubing is just wishful thinking on your part, Wu Chen, and I'm not talking about some delusional fantasy." Wu Chen leaned forward, his voice low but steady. "Oh, I'm quite serious. You're already being cuckolded, Ding Ruilong, but it seems you haven't figured it out yet." Li Rubing stiffened slightly, thinking to herself, is he talking about he, Shikin? Meanwhile, Ding Ruilong thought, is this country bumpkin trying to rile me up in front of Rubing? Nice try. Hell get nothing out of me. With a smug expression, Ding Ruilong replied, "They say wine reveals a man's true face. Go ahead, Wu Chen. Talk all you want, we're listening." Wu Chen smiled coldly. "You asked for it. Remember last year, your little lover Lu Xiaoyu and your loyal bodyguard Tang Wu. Have you ever wondered what they were up to on your birthday night?" Ding Ruilong scoffed. "Do you think ill fall for your baseless rumors? You're just trying to provoke me with lies." "Don't believe me?" Wu Chen shrugged. "Fine. It's up to you. After all, it's not the first time you've worn a green hat." Li Rubing pinched Wu Chen's thigh under the table and hissed, "Have you lost it? Did you drink too much?" Wu Chen leaned in, whispering, "Ding Ruilong will end up in the hospital tonight." Li Rubing gave him a skeptical look. "Are you sure this isn't the wine talking?" Wu Chen feigned a drunken demeanor as the dinner slowly wound down, and Sun Yongzhang urged Tang Jingbin to stay and talk for a while longer. Ding Ruilong excused himself, saying, "Uncle Sun, second Uncle Tang, I need to head back. You all rest well." Later, in his hotel suite, Ding Ruilong settled on the sofa, his mind troubled by Wu Chen's words. He turned to Tang Wu, his expression sharp. "Tang Wu, what exactly did you do with Liu Xiaoyu on my birthday last year?" Tang Wu shifted uncomfortably, his face turning pale. "Boss, Siu, I don't remember what happened that night. It's been too long." Ding Ruilong sneered. "Playing innocent, huh?" He pulled out his pistol, pointing it at Tang Wu, who immediately dropped to his knees. "Boss, I swear I would never do anything to betray you." Ding Ruilong narrowed his eyes, taking out his phone. "Let's just confirm that with her, shall we?" He called Liu Xiaoyu, who answered in a cheerful voice. "Dear, finally, I thought you'd forgotten about me." "Liu Xiaoyu," Ding Ruilong cut her off. "What did you do with Tang Wu on my birthday last year?" She hesitated, her voice turning meek. "Nothing, really. After the banquet, Tang Wu took me back to my apartment and then left." Ding Ruilong's expression hardened as he pressed the pistol to Tang Wu's chin. "Try again," he warned. "Tang Wu here says you wouldn't let him leave, that you took matters into your own hands." Tang Wu broke out into a cold sweat, while Liu Xiaoyu's voice turned panicked. No, that's not true, dear." He forced me. I was afraid you'd think I was tainted, so I never told you. That bastard Tang Wu kept threatening me afterwards." Tang Wu collapsed, hugging Ding Ruilong's legs in desperation. "Boss, she's lying. She started it." Ding Ruilong kicked him aside, seething. "I don't care who started it. The fact is, you two did it. You both disgust me." Tang Wu pleaded frantically. "Boss, I know I was wrong. Please forgive me." Ding Ruilong's face twisted with rage as he raised the pistol. "Forgive you?" But as he pulled the trigger, the pistol malfunctioned, spraying water instead. A loud shriek escaped him as he jumped back, bewildered. "Oh!" he screamed in frustration, humiliated, as water dripped down his face. His security detail rushed in. "Young master, did the gun malfunction? Let's get you to the hospital." Outside, onlookers pointed up at the building, whispering, "Look, there's smoke coming from up there." Someone called the fire department. One of the security members checked his phone and reported urgently the fire originated from room 1029. And The video footage shows only one person entering and exiting that room, one of your people, young master. Lee Ruotai barked orders to the security. Don't stand around, put out that fire, and make sure no reporters snap any photos of this mess. Lee Ruobing added calmly, yes, we don't need random rumors about the Lee family spreading either. Sun Yongzhang shook his head apologetically to Tang Jingbin. Boss Tang, my sincerest apologies. This incident was unexpected, but if you wouldn't mind accompanying us a little longer. Tang Jingbin kept his composure, hiding his amusement. Of course, boss Sun. Just an unfortunate coincidence. Sun Yongzhang's phone buzzed, and he glanced down, his face paling. Ruolong killed someone and injured himself. Has been admitted to the hospital? Tang Jingbin raised an eyebrow. Did something happen? I'd like to check on the situation myself. Inwardly, he marveled. First, a fire involving Lee Ruotai, and now Ding Ruolong ends up in the hospital? This is all part of Wu Chen's scheme, isn't it? I have to see how this unfolds. Sun Yongzhang quickly rounded up the family. Xiao Wu, Ah Tai, Bing Bing. Let's go check on Ding Ruolong. Ah Tai, make sure someone handles the mess at his hotel. Lee Ruotai rolled his eyes. I already have enough problems to deal with here. Do I really have to clean up his mess too? Wu Chen, calm but assured, spoke up. Mr. Sun, you go ahead. Tai has me here to help manage things. He turned to Lee Ruobing, who embraced him warmly, her expression curious. Darling, she murmured, pressing close, I wasn't in on much of your plan this time. Just how much did you handle without telling me? Wu Chen smirked. Quite a lot. Lee Ruotai, assessing the situation, asked, and what's next? Wu Chen turned to him with a knowing look. Brother-in-law, send 2 groups, one to the hotel to clear out anything linking Ding Ruolong to the fire. The second group should head to the hospital to keep an eye on Jiang Hongguang. Give them a heads up and then proceed as usual. Got it? Lee Ruotai gave a thumbs up. Got it. At the hospital, Ding Ruolong's security team muttered among themselves, puzzled by the chaos of the night. What's even happening tonight? One of them asked, bewildered. His friend shrugged. Who knows? First, there's a fire at the Li family's hotel. And then our boss gets wrapped up in all this. It's like a curse. Meanwhile, Sun Yongzhang glanced at his phone, his face falling as he read, Room 1029 caught fire. Good luck to you. He muttered to himself, Room 1029? Twice I was called there for nothing, and now M made the scapegoat? If anyone's remotely connected to this, they might as well be dead. I need to lay low for a while. Looking at the others, he faked a pained expression. I need to use the restroom. My stomach's acting up. In the stairwell, however, he was promptly captured, a bag pulled over his head before he could make a move. Later, Lee Ruotai reported back to Wu Chen. Both groups have done their part. Wu Chen nodded. Then your sister and I will head back to Ding Ruolong's place. You can go unwind. Lee Ruotai, feeling slightly left out, asked, and me? In the hospital room, Sun Yongzhang leaned over Ding Ruolong, sighing heavily. Take care of yourself, Ruolong, and your fingers too. Tang Jingbin tried to see the silver lining. Maybe this injury is a blessing in disguise. Ding Ruolong forced a smile. Second Uncle Tang is right. As long as my hands are fine, it's a mercy from the heavens. Lee Ruotai shouted, Freak you, Ding Ruolong. Were you trying to deceive me? Why didn't you blow up? Trying to set fire to my hotel, did you think I wouldn't find out? Don't try to tell some nonsense. Why don't I just end you right now? Sun Yongzhang said, Tai, put the gun down and say whatever you wanted to say. Wait, are you saying it was Ruolong who set the hotel on fire? Lee Ruotai responded, the fire started in room 1029 and there's a video to prove it. Take a good look at the person who entered room 1029 asn't dead. One of your men? Ding Ruolong, do you still deny it? Do you dare to video call him right now? Lee Ruotai points his water gun at Ding Ruolong's head and demanded, Speak, Ding Ruolong replied. He just went missing. Someone is trying to frame me. Lee Ruotai scoffed. Went missing? That's how you're trying to prove your innocence? Do you think I'm stupid? Ding Ruolong insisted. Lee Ruotai. Someone is really framing me. I want to investigate this as much as you do. Don't worry, I'll give you an explanation. Call the secretary over and let her check it in front of Mr. Lee. The secretary arrived, and Ding Ruolong ordered, check Jiang Hongguang's recent financials and call records for the past month, focusing on who he contacted yesterday afternoon. The The secretary reported to Li Ruotai, young master, Wei found something. Ding Ruilong said, Li Ruotai, see for yourself. Zhang Hongguang left twice yesterday, each time after reading a text message with instructions. The first time, I was playing cards with you, and the second, I was at dinner with you. Think back, did I touch my phone while we were together? Keep checking the number that contacted Zhang Hongguang and find out who's behind this. The secretary hesitated and said, Young master, that number. Ding Ruilong demanded, speak up. It's Uncle Xuan's old phone, the secretary stammered. Ding Ruilong was taken aback, huh? Li Ruotai pointed the water gun at Ding Ruilong again. Now it's clear that Zhang Chuan is one of your people. Ding Ruilong pleaded, listen to me. Actually, Zhang Chuan has been missing for some time. Someone's framing me. Suddenly, Li Ruotai slapped Ding Ruilong with the water gun. Zhang Hongguang is missing, and now Zhang Chuan too? Do you think I'm a fool? Li Ruotai grabbed Ding Ruilong and warned, don't want to talk, huh? Maybe it'll shut you up for good. Sun Yongzhang intervened. Atai, don't get too worked up. Listen to your uncle and don't do anything foolish. He pulled Li Ruotai away and said to Ding Ruilong, Ruilong, I'll take Atai with me. Take care of your injuries and investigate the fire incident thoroughly. Ding Ruilong replied, got it, Uncle Sun. Outside, Sun Yongzhang remarked, today's events must have seemed strange to Mr. Tang. It's complicated. I only have a limited understanding of it. Let's go, Mr. Tang. Well, rest and discuss this with Xiao Wu tomorrow, the following day. Li Ruotai greeted. Be brother-in-law, my third uncle and second uncle Tang are here, Boss Tang asked. How much do you think Ding Ruilong is responsible for yesterday's incident? Wu Chen replied. It's no coincidence that Zhang Hongguang and Zhang Chuan went missing at the same time. The evidence is too obvious, it seems like a setup. But if we're all thinking that, aren't we falling for Ding Ruilong's tricks? Boss Sun added, the situation is confusing. Let them investigate it themselves. But the Ding family must give the Lai family an explanation. Let's move on and talk business. Wu Chen continued, yes, since everyone's here, Mr. Tang and Mr. Sun, let's go upstairs to the study to discuss this with young Master Tang. Once they were seated, Wu Chen said, yesterday, Mr. Tang mentioned that young Master Tang almost got killed. It's a bit late, but it's unlikely. So, I suggest we ask the young master directly about what happened. We'll provide whatever he wants. What does Mr. Tang think? Boss Tang thought to himself, from yesterday's events, it's clear that Wu Chen has a strong voice in the Lai family. Although Xiaobao was hurt by someone from the Li family, he was also saved by someone influential in that family. If we make trouble for the Lai family, it'll make us look weak. Wu Chen then added, however, young Master Tang has already suffered unnecessarily. To make amends, the Lai family won't hold back. Besides, how about I personally give Mr. Tang, or rather, the Tang family, a significant gift? Boss Tang, intrigued, asked, a big gift, Wu Chen revealed. I heard there's tension between the Tang family and the Lu family up north. I happen to have some crucial evidence on the Lu family's shady dealings. If the Tang family acts on this, it could have a huge impact. Would Mr. Tang be interested? And with that, he produced a USB drive. Boss Sun thought to himself, is the relationship between the Tang and Lu families truly so bad? 20 years ago, they fought a major battle in Beijing, using nearly all their connections and resources. Both sides paid a heavy price, but in the end, the Lu family won. The Tang family retreated from the capital, and ever since, the two families have been enemies. Boss Tang then spoke, what are you trying to say, little brother? Wu Chen responded, if Mr. Tang wants it, he'll hand over this evidence. If you find it useful and decide to move against the Lu family, the Lai family is prepared to stand by the Tang family and join the effort. Wu Chen set the USB on the table. Boss Tang thought, will they truly go to war with the Lu family over something as small as the Tang Xinbao incident? Compared to the wars between powerful families, Tang Xinbao's matter seems insignificant. What's Wu Chen really up to? Looking at the USB, Boss Sun muttered to himself, sweating. Isn't it the Tang family that was supposed to take action against the Ding family? Why does the Li family want to target the Lu family? Noticing Boss Sun's puzzled expression, Boss Tang asked Wu Chen cautiously, should I take your words seriously, Wu Chen? Can you truly speak for the Li family on such a serious matter? Wu Chen smiled. It's only natural that Mr. Tang might doubt me since we've only just met. Let me make a quick call to clarify, so we don't risk any misunderstandings. Wu Chen took out his phone and dialed. The voice on the other end answered, Xiao Wu? Uncle, Wu Chen began. I'm here discussing a potential alliance between the Li and Tang families with Mr. Tang Jingbin. He wants confirmation that our family is committed to action against the Lu family. Li Morin replied, Didn't we already agree on this? You're authorized to handle the discussions. Does Mr. Tang have any concerns? Boss Tang was stunned, thinking Li Morin confirmed it himself. Even Sun Yongzhang didn't know. Wu Chen clearly holds a high rank in the Li family's inner circle. So this alliance isn't just Wu Chen's idea. The entire Li family is behind it. Li Morin ended the call, quietly thinking, Xiao Wu didn't even give me a heads up, using me again. But since He Shiqin is willing to testify against Ding Ruilong for murdering Dong Yuan Tao, it's the perfect time to move against the Lu family and form an alliance with the Dong family. It's an opportunity to kill two birds with one stone. Boss Tang, visibly moved, picked up the USB and chuckled. I didn't mean it like that. Of course, I trust you, little brother. Let's discuss the details further. Boss Sun, equally shocked, watched as Boss Tang gripped Wu Chen's hands, exclaiming, Xiao Wu, why didn't I get to know you sooner? Brother Li is fortunate to have you as his son-in-law. Wu Chen nodded. So it's settled then? Boss Tang agreed. Settled. I'll head back to Shanghai soon and report this to the old man. Wu Chen added, Boss Tang, as for young Master Tang's matter, Boss Tang brushed it off. It was just a misunderstanding among the younger generation. Let's forget about it. Wu Chen replied, That won't do. If we don't follow up, it could lead to more serious misunderstandings. News of young Master Tang's presence in Donghai will spread, and since you personally came here, if it ends without action, others might think the Tang family fears the Li family. It could damage both our reputations and raise suspicions of collusion, potentially harming our cooperation. Boss Tang acknowledged, You're still one step ahead, little brother. I'll leave the specifics to you. Whatever you need, financial support or otherwise. At the airport, Boss Tang spoke to Guo Qiki and Tang Xinbao, Xiaobao. The Li family will compensate you for your injury. I've settled it with them. Listen to Wu Chen. He'll ensure you're taken care of. Don't overreach or refuse what they offer. And since you're staying here, get along well with Wu Chen and Li Ruobing, especially Wu Chen. Understand? Tang Xinbao nodded. Second uncle, you don't need to say it twice. I already understand. He's my master now, after all. In another scene, Li Ruotai said to Wu Chen, Brother-in-law, third uncle, and second uncle Tang have left. And Weeb sorted out the matter with Tang Xinbao. The press conference for my sister was a success. Things gone smoothly. And the best part? Ding Ruilong finally ran away from Donghai with his tail between his legs. You handled everything perfectly, brother-in-law. By the way, how did you manage to make his pistol explode? Wu Chen paused. That's rather complicated. And both of them fell silent. Moments later, Wu Chen's phone rang. He answered, Hello? Hello, how are you? Is this Mr. Chen Wu? The voice on the other end asked. Sorry to disturb you. This is Munglan. Miss N, what can I do for you? Wu Chen replied. And Munglan continued, I really like the two songs you wrote. Do you have any interest in the entertainment industry? With your talent, you could easily become a rising star. Wu Chen answered, I have no plans for that at the moment. Well, Mr. Chen Wu, since you're in Donghai, I'll be heading over there in the next couple of days, she replied. Let's meet with Miss Song then and talk more. What do you think? Wu Chen replied, Why not? Sure. Just then, Li Ruotai chimed in, Brother-in-law, it's time to set off for my sister's celebration party. Wu Chen agreed. Let's go. Meanwhile, Munglan thought to herself, It seems that dealing with Mr. Chen Wu won't be as easy as I expected. At the party, a chorus of voices shouted, Boss, you're amazing. Huankai Cosmetics is incredible. Li Ruotai clapped along with the crowd as Wu Chen quietly observed Li Ruobing. In another scene, Song Xuan said to her mother, Wu Yurong, Mom, I have something urgent to take care of, so I'll be heading out for a bit. At this time, Wu Yurong asked, glancing at the clock. It's already late. Where are you going? Business, Mom, Song Xuan replied. Later, Munglan confided, You know that music has always been my dream. Music is abstract. It expresses a creator's thoughts, emotions, even real-life events. But making a song popular requires the right timing, setting, synergy, a celebrity effect, memorable melodies, and distinctive vocal styles. Song Xuan responded, You really know your stuff, Miss Anne. He's a genius. And Manglan continued, Miss Song, if you're not in a hurry to head home, could we discuss him further? I actually spoke to him on the phone this afternoon, but he seemed reluctant to debut. Do you know anything about his background? Song Xuan replied, my senior's family runs a noodle restaurant out in the countryside. I don't think his family is a factor here. And Manglan pressed, Miss Song, it's just the two of us. You don't want his musical talent to go to waste, do you? Does he have any secrets? After a moment, Song Xuan replied cautiously, Miss N, please don't mention this in front of him, but I think there's an older woman, someone wealthy, who is very strict with him. An older woman? And Manglan asked, surprised. Are you sure? Have you seen her? No, Song Xuan admitted. But we spoke on the phone once. Her tone was stern, cold, and I think she's older than my mother. The worst part is she even suspects something is going on between me and my senior. But if you haven't seen her, how can you be sure? And Manglan asked. During school, he was always frugal, careful about every expense. Then, just 2 months after graduation, he is wearing expensive clothes and driving a luxury car. How else could his lifestyle have changed so suddenly if not for a wealthy patron? Song Xuan explained. I offered to help him once, but he quickly changed the topic. Doesn't that confirm it? And Manglan thought for a moment. So, is he very handsome? Song Xuan nodded emphatically. Yes, very, very handsome. I want to help him so he won't have to endure this. With his talent, he deserves better. Miss Anne, could we find a way to help him out of this situation? If we could remove that older woman from his life, he might finally agree to debut. And Manglan nodded. All right, let's do it. Song Xuan said eagerly, I'll call him now. In a different scene, Wu Chen's phone rang. Li Rubing grumbled, who's calling so late? Why are they disturbing us? Wu Chen said calmly, it's just my classmate, Miss Song. Hello, senior, Song Xuan greeted. Do you have time tomorrow? Miss N just arrived in Donghai and would like to meet you. Wu Chen replied, I'm busy in the morning, but I can meet in the afternoon. Great, see you tomorrow afternoon then, Song Xuan replied. After he hung up, Li Rubing muttered, why are there so many Miss Ons now? Wu Chen laughed, it's just about a song debut. Nothing serious. Li Rubing insisted, I don't want you thinking about anything else right now, Wu Chen replied. Of course. I'll make it up to you. Li Rubing suddenly expressed her delight. Ah! The following morning, Wu Chen arrived at He Shiking's place. Teacher Wu is here, He Shiking greeted warmly. Wu Chen asked, have you been comfortable here? I've been too busy to visit lately. She replied, it's been nice here, we're doing fine. Please continue to look after us, Teacher Wu. In a spontaneous moment, Wu Chen held He Shiking by the waist, pulling her close. As Wu Chen held her by the waist, He Shiking hesitated. Teacher Wu, it's not convenient while I'm cooking. Let's wait until I'm finished. Wu Chen leaned in and whispered, Ding Rilong came to Donghai, but he had to stay in the hospital before leaving. I doubt he'll be able to use his hands so easily from now on. He Shiking replied gratefully, that's good, Teacher Wu. Thank you. Just then, Hexing Xing called out, Mom, is the food ready yet? I'm hungry. Almost ready, He Shiking replied. Turning to Wu Chen, Hexing Xing asked eagerly, Teacher, will you teach me how to draw today? Wu Chen answered, I have something else to do this afternoon, so I'll teach you next time. Oh, okay, she said, slightly disappointed but understanding. As she quietly mused, this feels so wonderful, like having a real home. Meanwhile, He Shiking thought to herself, Teacher Wu, from now on, as long as you ask, I'll agree to anything. I'm willing to do whatever it takes. In a different scene, at a Starbucks coffee shop, Senior, over here, Song Xuan called out to Wu Chen as he entered. Have you two been waiting long? He asked, greeting both Song Xuan and Manglan. Manglan stood up, extending her hand. Hello, Mr. Wu, Wu Chen replied. Hello, Miss Anne, and they shook hands. After exchanging pleasantries, Manglan asked, Mr. Wu, have you been keeping up with internet trends? We haven't quite finished our discussion about your debut. Let's start with your song. The three of them talked about music for nearly half an hour. Eventually, Manglan commented, Mr. Wu, you have such a deep understanding of music. Are you truly not planning to debut? I think, Wu Chen replied firmly. I have no intention of doing so, Miss Anne. And Manglan smiled. I think you could be very successful. Or could it be, as the rumors say, that your girlfriend isn't allowing it? Song Xuan suddenly choked on her coffee, and Wu Chen glanced at her with a slight smile. Miss Song, no one's restraining me from debuting. It's simply my choice. And Manglin rose from her seat. Mr. Wu, I don't fully understand your reasons. But how about this? Please accept my invitation to like to take you and your girlfriend out for a meal. Wu Chen agreed. All right, when shall we meet? And Menglan suggested, how about tonight, if it's convenient? That evening, the staff led Wu Chen and Li Ruobing to their reserved table. Li Ruobing remarked, who invites someone to dinner like this? Wu Chen chuckled. It seems Miss Song misunderstood our relationship. She thinks him being looked after by some wealthy older woman, and Menglan might have been influenced by her. With a smirk, Li Ruobing replied, when the senior is questionable, the junior tends to follow. I'm curious to see what tricks they have prepared for this Hongmen banquet. Inside the private dining room, Wu Chen greeted them. Sorry to keep you waiting. Song Xuan looked shocked. Senior, you're here, and this lady with you. Wu Chen introduced her smoothly. Didn't you invite her for dinner? This is my girlfriend, Li Ruobing. Ruobing, this is Song Xuan, my schoolmate. And this is Miss Manglin. Song Xuan was taken aback, thinking to herself, she's his girlfriend? And so young. And Manglin looked at Li Ruobing curiously. Li Ruobing, is it just a coincidence, or are you from the Li family? Li Ruobing replied with a smile. Miss Anne, nice to meet you. Yes, it's the Li family you're thinking of. And they shook hands. Oh, Miss Li. Hello, and Manglin replied politely. Turning to Song Xuan, Li Ruobing said, Miss Song, you remember me, right? We spoke over the phone recently. Song Xuan nodded quickly. Yes, yes. The tone is unmistakable. Wu Chen interrupted. Shall we order? I'm starving. Of course, senior, Song Xuan replied nervously. Meanwhile, in a different scene, Wu Yurong was in the bathroom when her phone rang. Boss, and Manglin, Wu Chen, and Li Ruobing are having dinner together, reported the caller. Wu Yurong replied, keep an eye on them. Don't let anything happen. It'll be there soon. I can understand Xuan Song and Manglin talking about music all night, but what's the story behind dining with Li Ruobing? I need to see this for myself. During the dinner, and Manglin said, Miss Li, the song Mr. Wu posted online was truly amazing. It's no exaggeration to call Mr. Wu a genius. If he officially debuts as a singer, he will definitely become very popular. Wu Chen raised his glass. Is that so? Dear, come on, cheers. I have to congratulate you. As they toasted, and Manglin continued, actually, Miss Li, the reason I invited you to dinner is to discuss this matter. If Mr. Wu joins our company, we will provide him with the best resources. Li Ruobing replied coolly, in that case, all you need to do to sign him is ask him directly. We don't have much to discuss on that front. Wu Chen added, I already told you before that I won't debut. And Manglin persisted, the thing is, Miss Li, I'm not sure if Mr. Wu is considering your opinion. That's why I thought it was necessary to. Li Ruobing interjected, because of me. No, he just has no plans to enter the entertainment industry. And Manglin turned to Wu Chen, if you don't mind me asking, what do you currently do? I work as an assistant at Ruobing's company, Wu Chen answered. Are you working as an assistant for Miss Li? And Manglin asked with a playful wink. Yes, he confirmed. Excusing himself, Wu Chen said, excuse me for a moment, I'll be going to the restroom. And Manglin seized the opportunity, Mr. Wu's inability to enter the music industry is a great loss for him and for the music industry. If Miss Li truly cares for him, you should advise him that men should have their own careers. Li Ruobing shot back. If I managed him and could tell him what to do, then I wouldn't be here dining with you. Miss Anne, although we've only just met, why do I feel like you have feelings for Mr. Wu? Li Ruobing probed. And Manglin broke a sweat. Feelings? Miss Li, you're misunderstanding. I'm merely appreciating his talent. Oh, is that so? Then when are you planning to have sex with him? Li Ruobing asked bluntly. And Manglin thought to herself, this Li Ruobing is simply unreasonable. Song Xuan thought, Senior's girlfriend is quite intimidating. And Manglin retorted, I'm not sure why you'd ask such a question, but it's quite rude. Li Ruobing smirked. Is it polite to have so many bodyguards at the door? Are you trying to scare me? Song Xuan quickly intervened. Miss Li, the bodyguards are my responsibility. I'm sorry. I apologize. Li Ruobing replied. Adults are speaking. Children shouldn't interrupt. Miss Anne, since you think so highly of my Mr. Wu, when do you plan to meet him? Li Ruobing continued. And Manglin replied, Although I came to him of my own accord, I came to discuss signing a contract and his debut, not to form a personal relationship with him. Especially since we just met today. I don't know if you don't trust others or just worry unnecessarily. The atmosphere grew tense as Lee Robing said, "Why don't we be honest and clear?" Il asked again, "Are you sure you don't want to be with him?" And Menglin shot back, "How absurd. I'm absolutely sure of that," Lee Robing declared confidently. I don't believe it. After all, my Mr. Wu is quite popular with women, she continued. Since you're being stubborn, why don't we make a bet? Lee Robing suggested. What are you betting on? And Menglin asked, intrigued. How about betting on whether or not you fall in love with Wu Chen within a month? What do you say? Lee Robing proposed. Just then, Wu Chen entered the room and exclaimed, Huh? Sister Rong? Wu Yurong responded, What is Xuan Xuan doing having dinner with Lee Robing? There can never be any trouble between them. Nothing of the sort is going to happen. Xuan Xuan just misunderstood, thinking that a wealthy woman is taking care of me, Wu Chen explained. Wu Yurong asked, Me? Taking care of you? What's the issue with Lee Robing? When did Xuan Xuan find out? Sister Rong, what are you thinking? Xuan Xuan thought Lee Robing was taking care of me, Wu Chen reiterated. Wu Yurong seemed to understand now, I see. You're at it again, aren't you? With all these games, why did you go and fall for Menglin? Sister Rong, stop with this nonsense. Missin and I just met today for the first time, Wu Chen insisted. Mustard, just play along, Wu Yurong teased. In that case, you can head back to the private room first, and I'll join you later. Back in the other room, Wu Chen asked, What's wrong with you guys? Miss Song, what's going on? Song Xuan stuttered. See, Senior Yuatu-ta-e. And Menglin explained, Miss Lee wants to bet on whether I'll fall in love with you, and she also wants to know when I plan to sleep with you. Wu Chen raised an eyebrow. Are there any conditions to this bet? And Menglin replied, Yes, if I lose, I have to kneel in public and apologize to Miss Lee. Wu Chen shook his head. You guys are really that bored? Lee Robing said, Bored? I was merely giving a friendly reminder. You know nothing of Mr. Wu's uncanny charm with women. If you want to win, you'd better refrain from meeting him for the next month. And Menglin thought to herself, This woman is going to great lengths to keep me away from Mr. Wu, but I won't fall for her tricks. She continued, Even if Mr. Wu doesn't want to debut, we still have the collaboration with Miss Song Xuan for her music and lyrics, so it's impossible not to meet. I believe our cooperation will be enjoyable, but this is as far as it goes. What do you think, Mr. Wu? They shook hands and Wu Chen replied, Well, here's to a pleasant cooperation. Song Xuan chimed in, Let's eat. The dishes are going to get cold. Suddenly, Wu Yurong entered, exclaiming, It's so lively in here. Miss Lee, why didn't you tell me you were having dinner with my daughter? Lee Robing thought, Here comes the trouble. And Menglin wondered, Miss Song's mother, what is she doing here? Mom, why are you here? Song Xuan asked. What? Am I not welcome? Wu Yurong shot back. Turning to Wu Chen, she said, Oh, Xiao Wu is here as well? Hello, Miss Wu, Wu Chen greeted. Miss Anne, we meet again, Wu Yurong added. Mom, sit over here, Song Xuan insisted. Wu Yurong whispered to her daughter, Tell me, besides signing the contract, what else are you still discussing? Song Xuan whispered back. Senior's girlfriend is betting on whether Miss Anne will sleep with Senior. Wu Yurong thought to herself, Lee Robing and her little tricks. However, things won't be as fun without these little tricks. Raising her glass, Wu Yurong announced, Come on, let's have a drink together. Wishing Miss Anne, Xuan Xuan, and Xiao Wu a smooth cooperation. Cheers, Wu Chen responded as the others echoed. Cheers. 2 hours later, a tipsy Song Xuan slurred, Mom, Senior, it seems I've gotten drunk. Xuan Xuan, the driver will take you back so you can rest. I'll join you later, Wu Yurong replied. Miss Anne, Senior, take care. I'll be leaving first. We'll discuss the music some other time, Song Xuan said. Lee Robing thought, Wu Yurong is suddenly sending her daughter away? Isn't she going to cause trouble? Suddenly, the door closed. Wu Yurong quickly leaned toward Wu Chen and stole a kiss, saying, Smooch! Lee Robing thought, I knew it, this crazy woman. And Menglin was shocked. Miss Song's mother is kissing Mr. Wu? What kind of bizarre development is this? And her posture suggests chess marking her territory. Previously, it was Lee Robing's inexplicable behavior, and now it's Song Xuan's mother's exaggerated affection. From the moment I met Mr. Wu, I sensed something was off. Sister Wrong, what are you doing? Wu Yurong responded, what's going on? Can't I kiss my little husband? Li Ruobing, frustrated, turned her head away. Wu Yurong said, Xuan left already, right? Don't worry, she won't find out. And Menglan thought, little husband? And by the looks of things, it seems Miss Li knows about their relationship. Miss Anne, Li Ruobing began. Miss Anne, she repeated. And Menglan snapped back to reality. I apologize, I got distracted, sorry. Li Ruobing asserted. I said it before, my Mr. Wu has a particularly unusual relationship with women. And Menglin thought, business talks also seem to involve some kind of paranormal ability. Once the contract is signed, I'll have to keep my distance from Mr. Wu. Wu Yurong thought to herself, it seems the effect I wanted has been achieved, and Menglan, through my reminder, should be more vigilant. The time it would have taken to get to him will exceed a month. Li Ruobing, I really want to see how you lose. The next day, Menglan woke up in her bed and opened the window. She said, empty your mind, feel the world, let's write a melody or lyrics. Half an hour later, with her head a mess, she slumped onto a massage chair. Ugh, I can't seem to write anything. What the hell is going on? Why is Mr. Wu Chen the only thing I can think of? It's better to schedule a meeting with him to discuss music and collaboration so I won't have any wild thoughts while working. But he seems, really, maybe, very dangerous. So should I give up on the cooperation? No. Why should I have to give up? I have a clear conscience. What is there to be afraid of? His chaotic private life is his business. It has nothing to do with me. I just want a collaboration with him in music, that's all. Li Ruobing said to Wu Chen, Dear Qing Ying, and I have made plans to go shopping together. What do you think? Wu Chen replied, you guys should go have fun. I have something to do today. Li Ruobing asked, what's going on? You're not going to say it's in Menglan, are you? Wu Chen confirmed, yes, it's her. Li Ruobing exclaimed, she is so confident that she still wants to contact you? Didn't Wu Yurong pull that stunt to make her keep her distance from you yesterday? Wu Chen shrugged it off. It's nothing. Look, she's calling, Li Ruobing remarked. You seem to know her very well. Wu Chen responded, have you forgotten that I am an information broker? Fine, you're amazing. You can play on your own. I'll go find Qing Ying. Li Ruobing huffed. In a different scene, and Menglan waited alone when Wu Chen arrived and said, hi. And Menglan greeted him. Mr. Wu, I think your collaboration with Miss Song Xuan on the lyrics and song is too indirect and poses some operational risks. You should directly sign a contract with my company. Wu Chen considered this and replied, well, it's possible, but we don't understand each other yet. If I offer an incredible price and terms, you might not be willing to agree. And Menglan asked, and by incredible you mean? Wu Chen proposed, for example. If I set up a studio and Missin takes a 50% share of the company's name, you could make a well-purchased investment in my studio and exchange the equity. How about that? And Menglan, shocked, responded, huh? Although the company under my name is not linked to my family, its value is still over 3 billion yuan. Mr. Wu, you are joining the company as a songwriter, and you dare to claim 50% of the shares? Mr. Wu, if you want to refuse my offer, just say it directly. This kind of joke, ha ha. And Menglan thought to herself, sure enough, has not on my mind while at work. Seems like I was just overthinking this morning. Wu Chen insisted, I'm not joking. That's why I said you definitely won't accept it. And Menglan reflected, yes, I also spoke to Song Xuan before. I guess this insatiable and greedy personality of his is the reason why. Wu Chen suggested, let me first collaborate with Miss Anne as a freelance songwriter. I can be paid once I write a song. What type of song does Missin prefer? I can write one for you now. And Menglan thought, trying to write on the spot? I see through the tricks of your packaging. The 2 songs posted online were probably not written on the spot. After witnessing the relationship between him and Song Xuan's mother, I'm certain those songs were composed long ago and given to the daughter to play at home. Hes just using it to score points with his lover. Mr. Wu, and Menglan said, since we want to cooperate, we should be more sincere. There's really no need to use such a deceitful trick in front of me. Wu Chen replied, Miss Sen, if I were not sincere, I would not ask for 50% of the profits from you. I would just say whatever I wanted. Since we're going to be cooperating, why don't I just write one for you now? And Menglan agreed, all right, since Mr. Wu wants to perform live, well, write it. But for our first collaboration, Wu Chen interrupted, don't write it for Song Xuan, write it for me. And Menglan thought, how can it be easy to write a song on the spot? A few moments later, Wu Chen announced, I finished writing 7 songs, Miss San. Can you choose the one you prefer? And Menglan, sweating, thought to herself, he wrote 7 songs? How is this possible? She took the paper and gasped, there are really 7 songs. R&B, old school, jazz and blues, country music, punk rock, rap and folk songs. There are no 2 songs of the same genre, Wu Chen asked. Since you've gone through them, Miss Anne, which song do you want to choose? Mr. Wu, can you give it a try? I can't decide which one yet. And Menglan replied. Sure, Wu Chen agreed. As they entered a music room, and Menglan began singing all 7 songs while Wu Chen played the piano. And Menglan said, singing point blank has a lively rhythm. It's catchy and very popular. I still need some practice on the melodies in 3 Lives of Fireworks. The queen goes from ordinary to enchanting. And the European-themed court style is in place. The song The Castle is named solemn, but the lyrics and music are full of childlike charm. The adorable Please Don't Look Back has quite the punk, rock and roll vibe, and is very cool. Galaxy uses rap to tell science fiction stories, which is quite novel. And the last song, the folk style Last Chapter, sings about nostalgia and dreams, and even more about myself. She thought to herself, this may indeed be my last. When I was young, I could pursue my music dream without any reservations. However, as my father's health deteriorated, and with the family business reaching a point where I have to help, I don't think I'll have the opportunity to release an album in the future. Have you made a decision, Miss An? Wu Chen asked. I have decided. I will take all 7 songs and make them into one album. I will choose the last chapter as the lead song. And Menglan declared, then I must apologize to you. And Menglan bowed down to Wu Chen and continued, I shouldn't have doubted your ability, Mr. Wu. You are the most outstanding musician I've seen, and I'm sorry for saying such disrespectful remarks about you. Wu Chen replied, it's fine. I don't mind it. He held her shoulders gently. And Menglan took 2 glasses of grape juice and said, come, Mr. Wu, let's toast to the success of this album. Wu Chen raised his glass all right. Cheers. While drinking, the 2 talked about musical instruments, composing music and songwriting, as well as their childhood experiences. Soon it was evening, and Menglan said, if I may be bold to ask this, Mr. Wu, how did you, Miss Li and Miss Wu get together? Wu Chen replied, well, it's a bit complicated to talk about. And Menglan assured him, it doesn't matter if Mr. Wu doesn't want to say it. That's not what I'm actually asking about. Wu Chen inquired, what do you want to ask? And Menglan hesitated before asking, does Mr. Wu have any other plans for tonight? Can you stay? Wu Chen looked surprised. Tonight? And Menglan explained, I would like to discuss more about music with you, Mr. Wu. Can you accompany me to familiarize myself with those songs and correct the flaws in my singing? Wu Chen nodded, sure, no problem. And Menglan beamed, really? That's great. She started playing the piano. Suddenly, Wu Chen pointed at a note and said, you made another mistake. Here, you should play it like this. And Menglan was taken aback and blushed. She whispered, Mr. Wu. Then she leaned closer to Wu Chen's ear. He asked, And Menglan replied softly, In her mind, she thought about going to her bed and reflected, in the world of music, it's just the 2 of us. Only the 2 of us. She stood up and said, Sorry, Mr. Wu, I might be a little bit drunk. She wondered, did what I did with him just now really happen, or was it just in my mind? A song she hadn't heard before played in the background. It was comforting, apprehensive, intense, and uneasy. All her uneasiness washed away as she listened to Wu Chen's music. She closed her eyes. Wu Chen watched her closely and noticed she had really fallen asleep. He gently carried her to her room. The next day, and Menglan woke up and thought to herself, it seems I drank a lot yesterday. Why am I in bed? She looked under the sheets and was shocked. Where are my clothes? Who took them off for me? Did I and Wu Chen, but she couldn't remember anything specific. Did something happen between us? Wu Shen's voice called out, Missin, have you woken up yet? I prepared breakfast. And Menglan panicked internally. He was in the room. He didn't leave yesterday. That means last night. Gathering her courage, and Menglan asked, Mr. Wu, did you last night? 2. Thank you so much for watching. That's all for now. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to help me grow my channel. Your support means the world to me. Don't forget to leave a comment below. I love hearing from you. Let's keep the conversation going and get those analytics buzzing. Until next time, take care.